Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Irfan Hussain, and I'm here with a new lecture of our course of linguistics. And this lecture is a continuity of our topic of sociolinguistics. And our today's topic is dialect. That is one of the most important topics of sociolinguistics. Okay, if I say Etgazi-Fash, if I say kennel, if I say Cajun, if I say cows, can you understand it? You may say that these are not the words of English language, but actually these are the words of English language. Okay, let me give you rather simple example. Listen to it carefully. What I'm saying, I'm in the bus. Listen again. I'm in the bus. Did you understand it? Now see what it is. It is I am in the bus. And it may be amazing for you that how it is I'm in the bus. And you may think that it is a kind of some colloquial language or some backward style of English language, and to make you more amazed on it, I tell you that this is the dialect, this is the way of speaking of the people of London, of England, the capital of England, of London. So this much is the variety of English language in every language, that people speak in distinctly different ways. That different way, that is the difference because of the regions. That one region has a different style of speaking from other region of the same language. These different styles are different dialects of that language. Just recall some cricket match where you listen to different people from different regions. For example, you listen to English commentary of Ramiz Raja from Pakistan. You listen to Michael Slater from Australia. You listen to Alan Donald from South Africa. You listen to Sangakkara from Sri Lanka. And there's also a Caribbean style that will be presented with Michael Holding. When you listen to these people, you find that these are the different people, and they speak in distinctively in different way of English language. So these are the dialects. They are having different dialects. Among these people, this Anil Donald, Michael Slater, and Michael Holding, these are the people who belong to native English speaker countries, while Ramiz Raja and Sangakkara belong to non-native speaker. But even though these three natives have a very different way of speaking English language, so this is what is dialect. These are 5 people in the screen. When you listen to them, these are the 5 different dialects, because these 5 people belong to 5 different regions. Now, why and how these people are different in speaking? Why these dialects are different? Dialect changes because of 3 structure, because of 3 different systems. What are these? Sound system, vocabulary, and grammar. In a dialect, all these 3 elements may vary. Let us start with the sound system. Sound system is observed on 2 levels. One is dialectical level that we are just discussing now, that this is a regional variety of the language, and this is a macro level. And on micro level, on individual level, it is dialect. That is a way of speaking of a person. For example, you listen to someone on telephone and you instantly recognize that which person is that. This is because you recognize that person because of his way of speaking. This is called dialect. To understand the sound variation, we need to understand the phonemes. What are phonemes? Phonemes are the sounds of the letters. Every language has its unique sounds. For example, in English language, if we say letter B, it has one sound, that is B, and that is one phoneme. If we say C, that C letter has two sounds, one is S and other is K. That is, these are two different phonemes. If we talk about vowel sound, for example, in bean, B-E-A-N, we have different sound of vowel, that is E. And if we talk about bear and B-E-A-R, here E-A has a different sound, that is another phoneme. So these are the phonemes that are divided into vowels and consonant phonemes. In English language, there are 20 vowels phonemes and 24 consonants phoneme. So we need to understand it, and this is a chart of phoneme that we will learn in our chapter of phonology and phonetics. And why we need to know these phonemes? Because every language has its own way of speaking. You can see on the screen here, on the left of the screen, there are three sounds, three letters that have been written: K, K, P and T, and these have the sounds of K, P and T. See, K, P and T, and these are the aspired sounds, and in many languages these sounds are not aspired. For example, in Urdu or Punjabi, it is K, P and T, rather T, it's not T. And if you see the Caribbean, as I give you the example of Michael Holding, they don't say T or T, they say T. It is a time, not it is a time. And if we Urdu people speak English, we say it is the time. We say tomato, and in Urdu. So when we say in English, we say tomato instead of saying tomato. So these are the differences of using phonemes. And here you see a diagram th. What we speak it the or the, but in English language there is no the sound, such as th, as I say that is, or it is think, not think, not sing. It is in between think. So these are the differences, and these are the elements that make one dialect different from other. Here on right you see W and V. In many languages there is only one sound, wa or v, but in English language these are two sounds. W has the sound of wa and V has the sound of v. When we say very well in Urdu, it may be very well, but in English it is very well, very well. These are different phonemes. And now on the extreme left and extreme right, you see the sounds of ra and law. In Urdu or Punjabi, we say ra, we say la, but in English we say raw and law. And in French, this R has a very different sound. It is either spoken as ra or ha. So, like the word romance, you say roman, and like the word Carrefour, you know the French chain of the departmental stores, that is Carrefour. It is not Carrefour. When it is pronounced in French, it is Carrefour. Carrefour. One R, double R gives the sound of her, and the last R gives the sound of ha. These are the differences of sounds that make dialects different from one another. Also, there is a big change when we speak the consonant sounds at the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, and at the end of the word. In Urdu or Punjabi, or in all the languages that are known as the syllable time languages, the last phoneme is always given stress. For example, if I say it, in English it is it, but in Urdu or Punjabi or French they say it, because they stress on the last phoneme. But in many English, rather all of English dialects, the stress on from the last phoneme is removed. And but there is a difference between using the consonant sounds in the beginning, in the middle, or in the last. You can see the word tact. When the tact is spoken, t in the first, in the beginning, is different from the t in the last. Tact. And when you say matter in British language, it is British English, it is matter, but in American English, it becomes matter. In British English, it is latter, but in American English, it becomes ladder. When they have double T in the middle of the word, they convert in the double T into the sound. So this is how, again, the sounds are changed from dialect to dialect, region to region. See, I just gave you the examples of vowel, consonant sounds, and now see the examples of vowel sound. For example, the Scottish people say father, gather on same ground. We say father, gather. But what they do, they speak both of the words on the same level. In New Zealand English, they are also the native English speaker. If you listen to them in commentary or anywhere, they don't say heavy or very. They say heavy, very. They don't make it wide, heavy or very. They say heavy, very. In America, they speak, in many of American dialects, they speak bomb. They don't distinct bomb and bomb. They say bomb. There is another example of the words that are spoken in the northern areas of England and in the southern areas of England. They say liar, they say lawyer, they say liar. Aunt, one says aunt, others say aunt. Pajama, one says pajama, others say pajama on the rhyme of jam. Is a mayonnaise, one says mayonnaise, others say mayonnaise. And caramel, one say caramel, others say caramel. One say root, others say road. One say pen. That may be an example that may amaze you. Others say pin, and that is bean. One say bean and others say bin. And oil, one says ayu and then others say oil. So this much is the different they are in speaking, in producing the vowel sounds. And now come to the diphthongs. You know what are the diphthongs? These are double vowel sounds. When one sound starts with one vowel and ends with another vowel sound, these are the diphthongs. For example, we say life. First sound goes up, then goes down. Life. Up and down, glides down. But what happens in Scottish English, in the English of Scotland, that is also the part of UK, they say life instead of saying life, like, smile, tile, while. What they say, life, like, smile, tile, while. So this is the difference of diphthong. And you see that these Scotland, Wales, Ireland and England are the part of UK, but they have distinct English language. Another important thing is intonation group, that is known as tone group. There are three elements in the tone group. One is choice boundary, word stress and speech melody. What is that choice boundary? Some says like that, the parents and the children, and others say the parents and the children. It may even different in other groups. And the word stress, some says Mary killed the burglar, and somebody Mary killed the burger. Mary killed the burger. Although the stress comes in every dialect and it affects the meaning of every dialect, but still there is a way of giving stress. Every speaker and every region has a way of giving stress. Some says yeah, this is so short, yeah, and some say yes, and that is the difference. Speech melody is very much complicated, and even we cannot define how speech melody is different, which are the factors that make some speech melody different. For example, if you see if you meet some Punjabi speaker of Faisalabad, you even with the same vocabulary, that speaker will be very much different in the way of speaking of Lahori and of Gujranwala and of Wazirabad and Gujarat. These are the people who are having very different dialects, and their speech melody is completely different. For example, I am speaking this way, that the speech melody is different. Someone say, "No, speech melody is different. Their speech melody is different." So that is the way every region develops and every individual develops. We need to understand that this speech melody is one of the elements that does affect tone group, the tone of the speaker. The next element, as the first one was the sound element in the dialectical change, and the next one is vocabulary. Vocabulary is different, and it is amazing to know that the same language has different kind of vocabulary for different regions. Although it is not completely different, but there are a lot of variations. And why these are variated? Because every region has its roots in past. There are local things, there are cultural words, industries may be different, profession may be different, and definitely the religion has its effects always. For example, there is one example here that we have few words for a building where cows are kept. A building where cows are kept, and these are all the words that are used in English but in various dialects. For example, the first one, bio. This is used in Derbyshire, Yorkshire, Staffordshire. When you say shippen, this is used in Devon, Somerset, Cornwall. These are the dialects. These all names are the dialects. And then mistel, that is used in West Yorkshire, Yorkshire, and cowpen, it is used in West Warwickshire. And then neat house is used in North Suffolk and South Norfolk. So see, for one thing, only one thing, that is for the cowshed, there are different words in different dialects. This is how vocabulary is different. If you see northern and southern America, see how these words are spoken and written: kirk, church, kern, turn, sock, shirt, prig, preach, leap. So in the same country with the same language, the words are different. The next big thing is grammar, and grammar has two aspects. One is morphology and other is syntax. What is morphology? This is a scientific study of the words. We study morphology in right from our beginning, because we have been studying parts of speech. When we study parts of speech, we study noun, pronoun, adjectives, adverb and verb, and so on. All these studies are actually the studies of morphology. So it is different. This morphology is different from region to region. For example, we make a noun plural by using s. I, shoe, shoes, cow, cows. But there are some dialects where it is not made plural with adding r. It is made in some other ways. For example, eyes into een, shoe into shin, and cow into kai. And there are also some practices where apparently the plural forms bear the singular form. Rather, singular forms are taken from apparently plural forms. For example, barrack from barracks, Chinese from Chinese, cop from cops. And now see use of verb. How use of verb is different in different dialects. It is example of what happens there. They add s or es to verb in case of the subject in first person singular. What we study, it is I walk, but in Cockney what they say, I walks, I reaches. So that is completely different, and I know that few students will like to live in that Cockney dialect instead of the pronunciation. And now Island of Legend, East Anglia. East Anglia, this, see what they do. In East Anglia, third person singular does not take s or es. They say he walk, she eat, it rain. And this is one of the major mistakes of our students. And again, I think they will prefer East Anglia rather than other dialects. See here again variation in the verb form: hell, Paul, beat, bat, blow, blowed, no, note, sit, sat, take, took instead of taken. And now preposition. So in USA it is I'm afraid on him. Instead of saying I'm afraid of him, they say I'm afraid of him. And after his father, when we use that expression after his father, in USA they say at his father, for his father, with his father, instead of saying after his father. Then pronoun. A lot of varieties in the use of pronoun. I can be used as subject. For example, you saw I instead of saying me. And in poetry and some other dialect, thee is used as object, thou as used as subject, thee in place of you, thou in place of you, thine, yours in place of your, you as a single. In some dialects, you is used if you are talking to one person, it is you, and you are talking to more than one person, it is used. In few dialects, not in our what we use in our practice. And there's another example, they use sat instead of it. For example, instead of saying it is raining, they may say sat is raining. So this is all for the dialect and dialect change, how dialects are different from one to other, and I hope that you have understood it. I hope it will work for you. Thank you very much for now. God bless you and thank you.